Alrighty, everybody. How's everyone doing? I am Chris. I don't think so. Everyone's fighting in the comment sections already. Hey, you be nice in there. You be nice in my comment section. Don't make me get a mod out here. But yeah, guys, welcome. I am Chris Collected, and today we're going to go over some stuff. It's not going to be. I'm not going to be doing much sewing. I might do a little bit, but actually, I want to kind of show off something there. But other than that, we're going to be going over this stuff, like the first drop. And I have been quite busy. I'll give you a little preview here. And then the table is, all full stuff. So let's talk about it. So, a couple of things. Right off the bat, here are these culprits. This was going to be the drop last month. It was just going to try to do just this. I was like, oh, I'll just do one thing, right? So this was what was supposed to be first, about 20 of them, but they were ruined by this. So 3 of them were put into the wash. It ruined all of them. I have not got that color catcher from last week. I'm going to go tomorrow and go get it. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm hoping the color catcher will work. And then I'll probably just start throwing these in to other people's orders. Because I can't expect people to pay full price for, a damaged garment, right? No one's going to want that. So, the real question is, then what do we sell? Because if we're not going to sell that stuff, then what do we sell? Well, we had a request for these guys. We have talked about it in the past about this is one of the first things I actually made when I was still on the other setup, not even on this good table yet, all this kind of stuff. This was the fabric bowl. That is to, be used to carry hot objects around. So that will be the first thing I sell. Right now, I have 5 of these. I'm going to make about a dozen total. So that way I'll have a dozen of these to sell. And I have a good amount of fabric. I picked out a few fabrics. One is the Arizona Cardinals. I had made this. I bought this to give as a gift at the end of the year to my ex-boss because he's a big Arizona Cardinals fan. And so I was going to make one of everything for him that I was selling and give him one as like a going away present, right? Of like, thanks for letting me, slowly leave your company. But ended up not working out that way. So now I have a yard of that fabric and nothing to do. So I was like, oh, well, still got to make stuff out of it, right? One of my favorites that I have is, hold on one second. There we go. This guy right here. I love Pokemon. And this is the beach scene for Pokemon. Beach scenes from Pokemon are pretty famous. They're like a casual, what some people call throwaway episodes. And they always are like at a beach or at something. And it's just a fun way for all the Pokemon to hang out and for people to kind of be like, oh, I like that Pokemon. I haven't seen him in a while. And boom. Oh, yeah. Look at all of it. It's a bunch for sure. I've been busy, because I was trying to do drops for a couple months now. And what I've realized when I was doing some inventory the other day is that I have a hodgepodge of stuff. Because I've been doing, fair different things. Like this one was from the drop, the first drop I ever did for the giveaway. And I still have like 2 of them left. And so it's like, what do I do? Do I keep them for myself? Do I give them away? Continue? And so that is really what we wanted to talk about today is what do I do with all this stuff that I have made? Because some of it is really good condition, really good stuff. Like these are, nothing wrong with them. They're still perfect. But, I never actually put a price on them because I gave them away for free. So it becomes a very odd thing because technically the second version of them is considerably, they're both even. They're considerably bigger, right? You can see it's like a good couple inches bigger there because that was the first version. I was like, oh, I could actually do them a little bit bigger. That way, when you fold it in half, you get like a full hand size. Whereas these ones, I kind of designed for children because it's bigger than the adult hand there. So really, it comes down to what do I do with all this stuff? And more importantly, going forwards, how does the company make a profit, right? I mean, you got to kind of make money eventually. As much as it worries me to be in public at any time period, I still eventually do have to go out there and sit, in a booth and sell stuff at the local fair and sell stuff all over the country. Hopefully, that's the plan in the next probably 2 years from now is to take like a road trip and go to other conventions and, go to the Maryland convention, Virginia conventions, Texas conventions and sell my wares, right? Sell these little things one by one, doing live streams from hotel rooms and all kinds of fun stuff, right? But before we get ahead of ourselves, we have to first establish a company and actually have some products and hopefully some consistency in our products as well. Because, if I charge you $5 for this one and $5 for this one, I have a feeling you'll pick this one, not this one, right? And so I'll end up with 2 of these and none of the others. So it is a kind of a conundrum that I find myself in. Because like this, I only really made it one way. And so making them over and over again, I just keep making it the same way. I have a pattern for it. And I just, keep knocking it out, right? The real thing is, most of this stuff, if not all of it, it's not made from patterns. I was just using up resources that I had and trying to practice things. So like, for instance, this is the first one that I ever made that was lined. It was the first one ever made. That was it. Right. And so I've thought about framing it like, oh, that's cute. Just like have it in the background, like sitting right there on the wall. That might be really cute, right? But at the same time, I could set it for sale because, it is usable. These were designed as in a bathroom to like get a kid to wash their hands and dry their hands off. I figured if it was Pikachu, they might actually do it. But of course, as with everything, I've then changed the design. So this was the first one. And then I went to the more rectangular shape. So again, it is bigger than its predecessor. And I have several of those that are actually consistent size. Because that was the first thing that I was making. With these two-sided, they are called unpaper towels. It's when you take 2 things of cotton flannel. And I actually even gave some to my mom before. And it's like you roll them up in a little thing. I actually had it here. This was what it was part of. And, you can give that as like a nice little gift set. But at the same time, do I really want to make like 10, 20 batches of these when, I don't know, I don't really love them? It's one of those things. It's like, just because I saw it on the internet doesn't mean it's amazing. It's like, I have these ones too, where one side is microfiber. And because I realized when I was talking, I was doing some early product development with my parents, and they were saying that it's not very absorbent. Which it wasn't really designed to be super absorbent. It was just kind of designed for that quick 2-second, get the water off your hands. Where this one is microfiber. So it actually has that level of absorbency. And was designed for, a quick spill. You're cooking something and 2-3 spills come out. You have this tiny rag. Instead of using, a massive thing like this, or even bigger, I have like these size coming up, and it's like, could you imagine cleaning an entire spill with that? You're like doing like this, whereas that was much more practical. So it's been racking my brain, right? It's like, how do I rationalize what I should sell and what is a bad avenue to go down? Because at the end of the day, once I cut and sew it, it's done, right? I have to either sell it or destroy it, which is a thing that all businesses have to think about all the time, right? Is the profit to loss ratio. So, with that being said, let's look at some things. And then, so far, my things on the definitely sell list is just fabric bowls. So by the end of today's stream, I do want to kind of go over and have at least 3 products that I have a size, have an actual like length, width, size, and that way I'll make patterns. And then I have, a bunch of fabric, boom, right? That's all like the scrap left over from all of this. So it's like, I still have another half yard of this, and I still have another yard of this, etc., right? So I want to standardize the rest of what I have. That way, when I do the drop, which I'm thinking October 1st, we'll see. Well, I really want to hold myself to October 1st, but then again, I also wanted to hold myself to August 1st, and and that didn't work. And so, we'll see what happens. But the idea right now is October 1st. This stuff goes live on my Instagram with the at least 3 products that we pick tonight of like what I am. And then I want at least, like this, like how I had 20 of these ready to go, but then ended up ruining them, you know? And so I will show you first my 3, and then you can tell me if you like those 3. And if not, then, we'll talk about what I can do about like this kind of product, either giving away or putting them for like $1 bin sale of like, trying to figure out my product. So, these ones are $1 and then this becomes the real product, right? So first thing is this guy. So I have a few of these. We actually did a live stream of this already, and this was me making these squares. Now, why I like these squares is because Joann sells them pre-cut. This is, if you ever buy like a fat quarter, this is 1/4 of a fat quarter, I believe. I can check, but I believe it's exactly 1/4 of a fat quarter. The back of it is a towel. And I think all of them are towels. Yes, all of these are towels. And so we actually did a live stream on this, and I really like it because it's a perfect square. Now, what I ended up realizing when I gave a few of these away is because they are perfect squares and they have quilting in them, people associate that with hot pads. So I have been thinking about, and I actually went out and bought a little bit of hot pad material. And so I'm thinking about in the future, I'll buy this size again, but turn them into hot pads. And so this would be the one and only batch of towels that are made, right? Instead, in the future, it would be hot pad based, which I actually bought. Here, one second. I can show you what that looks like. It was on sale. Boom. It's called Insulbrite. And what Insulbrite does is it can withstand a couple hundred degrees. I forget exactly how much. It should say it somewhere is on there, but it doesn't, weirdly enough. But yeah, it says, absolutely can be used for hot pads, oven mitts, tea cozies, lunch bags, placemats, anything you need that heat for. And so that's what I bought it for. I have a full roll of it, which, at Joann's, you can get it 50% off. And they actually had a 60% off sale for like a coupon that I had. And so that's why I bought it. Because I was like, oh, well, at this time, and Joann's does one. Yeah, good. I'm glad. But yeah, Joann's will often do the like 60% sales and 50% sales. And so I was able to buy it there, have that bulk, and then when I need it, I can use it. Because right now, if you notice, has not been cut or opened yet. Because I was like, if you look at this table, I've already spread myself out. So I don't know if I think maybe this drop, no hot pads, nothing like that. But I did want to bring it up that when I did give one of these away, because when I was doing this giveaway for the Strong and, the ones for when they ended the Roe v. Wade, that was why I did the giveaway for those, for all the women's rights that were being taken away. So I did that. And then I gave it to some of these people, and then they messaged me and they're like, that's a great hot pad, buddy. And I'm like, it's not a hot pad. So what do you think? Should I sell these as is, that they are towels, which, I mean, they're clearly towels on this side. They're very clearly towels. However, on the top side, very much look like either hot pads or something like that. And so I did want to discuss that with you guys today. What do you think? Do you think I should go out, buy some more of this size? Do you like this size? Because the towels, like having one side be really cute and one side being a towel, is definitely one of the 3 products that I'd like to sell. Yes, you can sell them what you have as towels, and next drop you do. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. This is what I was thinking as well. Is obviously I have product and I put money into this. None of this was free, So besides, this is actually an old towel of mine. So at one point I bought it, but it's been so long that it's like used at this point. But these are all like this was a $2 towel from Goodwill is what I've been buying them from. and then they even have dollar days, so I can get some of these for $1, and then turn them into like 8 towels, which is pretty good. All right. So that's what I was thinking. That's kind of the pitch for the first product, specifically is towels. And then we can talk about, if I want to do a product range or a size range afterwards. But first, I wanted to show that, product one, or technically product one, fabric fold. Product two, half towel, half cotton. Now, I do want to specifically keep with cotton because cotton sheds less and is less abrasive. It is smoother and cleaner. And also with digital printing nowadays, you can really do a wonder. I mean, look at the colors in this stuff. You can really get beautiful colors out of even dark colors and light colors, right? So you're getting everything that I want in my product, which is a lot of bright color, but also a modern take on what is, and yes, you can. I mean, if you wanted to hold a pot or pan like that, you could definitely hold them. I kind of thought of it also as like a plate holder at first, for like if you needed a bowl or something, you could use it. But because it doesn't have the hot pad in it, I wouldn't advertise it that way, because I don't want anyone to buy the product thinking that it is heat resistant and then end up getting themselves obviously burned. That was not what we want. All right. So that is definitely pitch one. I really want to do the towels one side, one side towel, one side not. Second thing. Now, this is technically very similar, but microfiber. So the first one is used towels. I buy towels in the environment, in the world. And even you guys, if you have an old towel laying around and you're like, oh, I'm going to donate this towel or something, you can donate it to me, right? That would be the idea, that I could even take donations for others. Whereas this one uses brand new product. This is a brand new microfiber cloth that I bought from Home Depot. I can, if I want to go this route, I can start buying these in bulk. All right. And so this is the full size, 16 by 16 inches. One side is fully colorful, one side thing. So very similar product to this, but the application is slightly different in the sense that this is microfiber versus a cloth towel. So that's really where you get into the question of like, which one do we like better? Because like, for instance, here's a Star Wars one. So again, 16 by 16 inches. And I've done a range of these. So here's it in blue with a yellow, because it came with silver and yellow were the two colors that were sold by Home Depot in a pack. I have one more pack of these. So eventually, either way, if we like it or don't, I'm still going to make that other pack. But see, I have several of them. And even have one that I actually did do as a towel to kind of, for my own, sake, to kind of check the difference. Now, there was a slight size difference between the two. The microfiber is sometimes people prefer it as a cleaning method. And that's why actually I made these much larger, because the idea eventually would be either like a shop towel, meaning something almost disposable, which is what these are like bought and as, right? Yeah. And that's the thing is, when I started going to the gym, I realized that I actually kind of like the microfiber, big microfibers. So I can do this, right? Put it on my head and then, swipe like this, keep it like that, which I was thinking I could even make it bigger, right? I mean, if I don't use microfiber, or if I use 2 microfiber cloths, something like that, I could go even bigger, right? And that is something that I was going to mention here in the future, that for product 4 or 5 or so, I have been kind of product testing my own stuff at my gym. So I do go to the gym. I try at least 3 times a week. I'm going for 4 now, which eventually, hoping next year I'd go up to like 5 or so. But for now, I'm doing about 3 times a week. And I do try to bring either one of these towels or one of these towels. And it is, both of them, honestly, I find work well for the gym. And, it really comes down to a personal preference. And so that's the thing, right? It's like, do I base a company around the theory of someone else's preferences, right? Because if I do, I could do everything towel based from now on. Never do another microfiber cloth. Or, you know, what? Do I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Do I only do this one? Only do that one? And so that's kind of the second one is I want to do, you know, one side fabric, one side towel, but is it microfiber towel, regular towel, or what? All right. So that is kind of the first thing there. Now, again, we'll talk about sizes eventually too. But for now, I really wanted to see what you guys' opinion on. Do you use microfiber cloths in your life? If you know, we're going to clean a spill or something, what are you reaching for? Are you going to reach for a microfiber cloth? And, you know, what applications? Like, for instance, this one, when I originally made it, I thought it'd be cute for like being able to put into a purse or something like that for cleaning your glasses. Because one side is very good for cleaning glasses, and then the other side is amazing for just like wiping it and drying it, right? Because it's cotton. So, what do you think? What do you think? Let's look in the chat here. Yeah, microfiber for the gym. For the gym, yeah, I do like the microfiber for the gym, for sure. And that's the thing. It's like, that's why I have such a weird eclectic section. Instead of having just like 50 of these or just 20, 50 of those, right? It's like I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. All right. And so I am torn about what necessarily do, because I want to work really hard all this next week, do nothing but, you know, sewing, trying to get all that fabric, you know, get all this stuff is going to get used up in the next week here. That's the goal. And so, you know, what do you think? Tell me down in the comments below. If you were going to buy something, would you buy microfiber? Is much lighter, for sure. For sure. This being twice the size is still half the weight of this. This is heavy. It is heavy, especially because I top stitched it all and then boom, boom on top of it, right? And it's actually I think the biggest difference between the two is that I have been interfacing a lot of these. The towel ones, I like to interface because it gives you more of a hard surface. Whereas this, all right, you can ball it up. Whereas this one, it's like you can kind of ball it up still, but it's like you notice it wants to be like folded more. Whereas this one, I mean, you can just nail it, right? Whereas this one wants to be folded. So if I was going to clean the kitchen or something, I could fold it like this. Whereas this one, you can ball up and use. So it's like, you know, I'm just trying to explain to you guys where my head is at. Of like, what do I do? Because, you know, when looking at all these products, my head starts to spin, right? Of like, well, I'm not big enough to maybe have enough of these products, but at the same time, use for babies. Yeah, absolutely. You can use these for babies. You can use that. That was kind of the thing, right? It's like, you know, why I got into the towels specifically is because it is so generic. Because I don't have an audience yet, right? I mean, it's 3 people in the chat right now, right? So it's like we don't have a huge enough audience to be like, oh, I only sell this one thing and nothing else. It's like, even if, you know, we have to do at least 3. That way I could try to entice as many groups as possible to come into my live streams and start looking at stuff. And yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. The microfiber does dry much quicker, whereas this dries much slower. And so, you know, for now, we'll table it as I show you, because I do, you know, again, have it in different sizes and such. And so the third product is a split between 2. And so you guys can kind of help me actually split between 3 things. Actually, no, not that one yet. This one. I have, remember in the beginning, one of the first things I was doing were these guys. This is beeswax that has been infused into a piece of cloth. So now it is stiff. I've done live streams on this, so feel free to look up my beeswax live streams. And of course, just like everything that I do, a bunch of different sizes of it. Because I've just been, you know, playing around, testing things, figuring out what I want. So it's either between these, or if you remember the very first thing I ever did were these pillows. This is a pillow cover. Now, how I make these pillow covers is I take a t-shirt and then put some kind of cool fabric on the back, and therefore you get a one of one pillow. Only one of these pillows exists because it required a t-shirt to get made. And so the first, it is all cotton in the front and can be whatever fabric I want on the back. This is a cotton flannel that's denim. And it actually has gold in it. I don't know. You can see it there. There you go. You can see that. It actually has gold in it. Not real gold, obviously. It's synthetic. Like, gold foil string ripping it. But it is a great way for me to monetize my old clothing, right? I have literally a trash bag full of clothing for the last, because COVID hit us all, and I was sitting in my house like, well, I still wear stuff that I had in middle school. So it's like, I need to, get rid of this stuff. But at the same time, I was like, I don't really want to throw it away. And I cannot stand giving any clothing to Goodwill anymore. I've seen too many documentaries about just like how little they care about clothing. If some house goods and other things, sure. A dog stuff, something like that, sure. But clothing at this point, it's like, don't bother giving it to Goodwill. They just have too much of it. So it's like, what do I do? Because I want to do 3 for now, really focus on 3. And then, I'll probably end up putting these up for sale anyways. Just like the extra stuff, just kind of try to recoup my cost as much as I can. But what do you think? Would you rather new pillow covers based on whatever t-shirt you want, or beeswax? Both of them, take supplies and basically are one-time supplies, because once you melt the beeswax into this, I can't like unmelt it and reuse it, right? Same thing as once I make the t-shirt, I can't make another t-shirt out of it, right? It's like I've made the one. So what do you think? Because the beeswax is definitely very specific. This is for a very niche audience, because I would say 99% of people in the world probably don't even know what these are for. And in fact, I didn't even know what they were for about 6 months ago. I really got into them a couple months ago, and then just made me a dozen, because I often eat like half a thing of yogurt with dinner. And this you put back on top of the yogurt, because you rip the whole lid off of it. So you put this back on the yogurt, and then boom, you like seal it around it. And you come back to it later the next day, and you can actually, great, it won't stay forever, but 2 days or so, you could put this in there, boom, and it'd be no problem. So that is, but of course, even because I do have, as I said, I have been making things, right? So it's like, I do have, again, about 20 or so, because that was supposed to be in that drop as well. And, I had made some for the Roe v. Wade decision. Like these ones were all made from that. And then, I do want to have queer content on the channel. So I did buy this. And then, Pokemon as well, because why not, right? I love Pokemon. So, they're not going away by any means, but I won't end up selling them. The real question is, of course, what do I do next week? This is Thursday. I'm going to spend some time making sure all this is good, getting, ads made. But of course, I was trying to make ads the other day, and I'm like, well, I need a product photo. I need to know what I am exactly selling. Because that's where I keep getting, where it's like, I can make something cool, and then it's like, how much is it? And how do I sell it? And stuff like that, right? And then I just like go, oh, I'll just make something else, or I'll do something else. I just get frustrated, and I just kind of lose my mind there. The plastic wrap for yogurt is cool. And so here's what I am thinking. I have plenty of these guys, right? I got all the sizes. I got, every kind. I have plenty of those. So I'm thinking that's going to be like the honorary 4th product. And it won't be like, I'll have it, but I won't plan on making any more. Like all this fabric, right? The extra, the to be used fabric here. None of that will be made in beeswax, I am thinking. Unless you guys are really into it, like I think that's what my decision kind of like. Obviously I'm thinking about this stuff all the time, and I've already kind of made my decisions, but I wanted to check with you guys and check to see if because obviously I got to make sure my customers like my decisions and not just me, right? So I also love my pillows. I actually have like a couple more that I'm already using, and it's like I do love my pillows. And that was actually the first idea I had for the company. This is the original one of one like idea I had. And if you go way, way back to like live stream 1 and 2, when I was actually in this room over here, the guest room over there, and it was all green, like all the walls are green and everything, this is what we were making, right? So I've come a long way. Now I'm in my living room, and it's like I've taken over. My whole house is now all about this sewing and this job. And, here these things are collecting dust in the corner because I never actually sold them. And in fact, I think this one was actually supposed to be a giveaway prize, and I never actually gave it away to the guy. So I got to go look up on my channel and go look up all my stuff to see if, because I think someone did, like, it was like one person actually said something. Because I was like, oh, say something, and then you're entered in the giveaway. And I think one person actually did. So I'm like, okay, I'll try to give this one away to the person that actually got it. And then this one I will sell to Captain Marvel. And then so I have probably another dozen of these Funko shirts. And then a lot of them also were Volcom, which is an old clothing brand that was for skaters. And I wore constantly as a child. And so that is, what I'm thinking for my 3 products is the fabric bowl, one-sided towels, and pillows. And yes, Shirley, the people could send you t-shirts to make pillow covers. And I absolutely agree with you there. I think it does that. Show. There we go. See, I can actually have it display in the corner there. So yeah. So, as for everyone on Twitter or Facebook that's watching, it's like you'll be able to see that as well. And so I do agree with that. That was actually something to talk about later is I remember, if you remember correctly, I did want a Patreon to help fund all this, because the easiest way to fund this channel by far and away is Patreon, because it's a monthly subscription service. So I can just keep making these and keep selling them. Right. And so that is definitely the idea in the long term, is to be able to have people send it to me through Patreon. So you give me $20 and I give you a basically email that said, hey, $5 of that went to like your shipping cost. And so I'm like, hey, ship me this shirt, which I looked it up. It'd probably be roughly about $4 from anywheres in the United States in about a week. And if it's less than £1, it's about $4. Because I do a lot of Mercari selling now, and that's how much it costs, for less than £1. So I could do that. That sounds great. Charge $25 for it. $20 goes to me, $5 for your shipping to me, and then I'll take a $5 cut on your shipping out, basically, right? Or make it $30 and $10 in shipping and $20 for me. But that's not right now. That is unfortunately a little bit of ways. I mean, for my 3 very loyal people that are always in my chat, if you do have a shirt that you really want, hit me up on my DMs and in the private chats and stuff that we have, and we could definitely talk about that. If there's a specific shirt or something, a good Christmas gift, something like that, we can definitely arrange. But for now, I do want to do my 3 products. This guy, and now that we've decided, the pillowcases as well. And so I will be making, because I'll use that fabric down there to make these backs. And then I have literally a trash bag full, like a black big, like, the ones used for yard work, that full of clothing. Because it's just like, I realize I wear so much clothing, and it's like I wear them out. Even this shirt, you've probably seen it 2 or 3 times on these streams. I wear it all the time, and to the point where it's like it's a rag, Yeah, I love the bowls too. The bowls are really cute, and I love this fabric that I bought, where it's like, it's really shiny. All right, it's really shiny. They're really easy to make. I love that also, like, I could throw my keys in there. I could throw, if I was storing my projects, all right, I could throw, and, maybe not that one, it's too big, but I could store projects in there. Right. That's what I like about them, is that they're extremely lightweight. I mean, completely crushable in that sense. Right. But as soon as you put it back, you can use it again. Use it again and again and again and again. And they're 100% washable. This is, completely sealed on all sides. and is top stitched all the way around and an X through it. And of course, reversible too. They're completely 100% reversible too. Boom. And function, exactly the same way. Boom. Right. And so that was a good one for me. Miss Shirley recommended that last time, that she loved these bowls. And I was like, well, that's got to be my number one product then, And so I know that when I met my parents recently, when they came to town, I gave them some of these. And so I was like, all right, I really want to do these. And then this was my passion project that I was like, I want to turn into something. So those are the 3 things that I would like to sell. Now, the question comes down to 2 more things. Now that we've determined the 3 things, there are basically a couple more questions, not 2, but a couple. First and most important is the price. Now, what I'm thinking is I actually might take a break on the price for now and actually do that on Tuesdays. So we can digitally go over and I can show you my ads and I can show you all that. But I am thinking 20 for this. Roughly, I was thinking like either a 2-pack or a 3-pack of these for about $12. So like 2 of them for $12, so they'd be $6 each. And then do it like, oh, they're $8 for 1 or 2 of them for $12. And I love the number 12. It's my lucky number. So that's kind of like, I wanted to have at least one thing be worth $12. And then this one, I definitely think is my most expensive product. So I'm thinking 20 to 25. And I think some of it might depend on like the back fabric. Like this fabric didn't cost nearly as much as this is. This is $20 a yard denim because of the gold in it. Whereas this is $5 a yard cotton, right? Yes, these are, these are technically, people would call these oftentimes, hide it there, show it. Yeah. So yeah, these are often called microwave bowls. Now, I personally do not recommend actually putting them in the microwave. It's kind of a misnomer. What they mean by it is put it in the microwave, like put the bowl in the microwave, and then put your hot item into this afterwards. So therefore, you can kind of grab it by its sides and go. But if you actually put this in a microwave by itself, it will heat up because it is fabric. Fabric does eventually get hot, especially if you're really nuking something for a long time. And of course, the honorary mention is, I am going to continue to work on these. This is my latest batch here. This one's cool. I made it like a kind of a swirl on a swirl, right? So you have like one swirl this way and another swirl like that way, right? And then this one is all squares. Isn't that cool? All squares. But these have not been shaved or cut yet, so they're not perfect yet. Which is why they're not displayed, right? Like these ones are. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, so as I was saying, the first thing we got to figure out is the price. And I do want to kind of probably do that on Tuesday, as I was saying, because I am like, I want to make the ads and then like basically make 2 ads, like one that's like the single one for $8 and then make the 2 for $12 and see what you guys think. Because maybe it's too high of a price, maybe it's too low. Like we'll talk about it, right? But I was thinking 8 for 1, 2 for 12, 1 for either 20 or 25. I'd love to do 25, to make good money on it. But we'll see. And then this was kind of the toss-up one. I'm not really sure. Again, I kind of like the price $12. Reason why I like the price $12 is because I can also do a discount, right? I'm like, oh, for you, $10. Right? It's like, it gives me that flexibility, but at the same time, I was thinking maybe like 15. What do you think? If you were going to buy a fabric bowl, reversible fabric bowl, with interfacing in it, but no hot pad stuff, which you cannot microwave hot pad stuff anyways, but, a little microwave bowl or a key bowl or, project bowl, you can throw whatever you want to throw into it, right? And being as it is edge stitched, or actually top stitched all around, you have a good rim to it. So it doesn't necessarily, tip over immediately. You can, kind of throw some stuff in there. Put too much weight, it'll tip, right? But you know, it has a weight. It has a good amount that I can do. So what are you thinking? 5, 5, and 10? Yeah, see, that was my fear as well, is that they might be too low of a product, and if I don't make enough money on them, right? Because this does require 2 pieces of fabric and interfacing. So I will on Tuesday. I want to do like a price breakdown. That's why I said I won't solidify prices tonight, because I do want to show a price breakdown. But I wanted to talk about it and figure it out, so that way on Tuesday I could show you this all together with my ads and all my stuff, and then hopefully Thursday basically do like a launch party of like, hey, here's me putting all this stuff on. I'll basically do a show you guys my screen and be like, all right, boom, it's live now on Instagram. Send me a message if you want stuff. You know what I mean? And we can kind of have like next Thursday be like a party, basically, just like my launch party. It'd be fun. Right? That's kind of what I was thinking too. It's like anywhere's, because I thought would be cool is if this is 8, then this can be 8 as well. And then that way you can do like a $15 bundle, right? Give them $1 off and do a $15 bundle of like this and this. Right. And see, this is why I wanted to ask, because it's like what people's perception of how much something costs can often be different than, what I'm willing to do. If this was a $5 product, I probably wouldn't want to make them too much. You know what I mean? Like 8 is kind of my bare minimum for wanting to make this stuff, because at $5, this is probably $3 worth of material, if not more. So it's like, yeah, I mean, roughly, I'd say, $2 to $3 for the fabric easily, and interfacing everything, and then thread and my time. I mean, anything less than 8, and it's kind of not worth it. So that's kind of all I have for today. I do ultimately love that you guys come to my live streams. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. And I also wanted to show you. So in the future, I am thinking about doing, now that I have a good headset, so I can move away from my mic, doing it this way. What do you guys think? Do you like this camera angle? That was like another question that I had for you guys today, was if I switch my second camera to being this way, would that be better or worse for you guys? Because that way, you can see my little fingers working away, and you won't have the noise necessarily from the machine, because... But what do you think? It's gonna be coming right at you, right? That's kind of how I thought might be cool. And then I might end up, moving it back a little farther. Like that would probably be the best spot for it. But what do you think about this as well? While you're pondering prices and pondering, what your future order might be, what do you think about this? And I have a set of, more that I'm about to do. I always make sure my needle's down beforehand. And then 2 things on that. One, I will be doing everything in the future. I have decided to permanently do everything in rainbow thread. It's just a way to kind of always tell you that, see the rainbow thread there. So I can't really read the comments while I do this, so I'll go back over and we'll discuss it. But I did want to show you that as well today, because, next week when I do drop stuff, I really want to, I've worked really hard to try to get to like a more professional level, right? And so next week, hopefully will kind of be that next step for me, from going from just showing you guys to actually going to the next level and being a salesman. You like the other way? Yeah, I love the camera angle. People who don't know how to sew can understand what you're doing. Cool. Cool, cool. And so I was thinking also I might end up because okay, so I tried the other day. There was a GoPro camera, and I went to go get it, and they had already sold it. So I'm going to go this weekend and try to see if I can't find somewhere like at a pawn shop. I know pawn shops have them, and I'm like, what can I pawn? What can I sell to a pawn shop? And I have old laptops, so maybe I can sell them an old laptop or something. Because GoPros are like $200-$300 at minimum. So I was like, all right, but we'll see. Because I really want to get a third camera. Because I can do up to 16 cameras on this app that I'm using. I can technically do 16 cameras, and you can get into like big, multi-camera stuff, right? So it's something to think about. As I said, this today was kind of like I wanted you to get inside my mind and see the world as I see it, right? Where it's just full of possibilities, but all those possibilities kind of driving me slowly crazy. And yes, they are. But that's kind of what I wanted to say for today. And I really appreciate everyone, commenting and talking to me and hanging out with me, an hour of your Thursdays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Sundays if you do watch my gaming streams. And, I just love that you guys are sharing this with me. It's really nice. And so we'll definitely do these. I think initially, okay, a brand new GoPro is about $800. Side note. So $300 is much better. Like there was a reason why it's not like brand new. The like the current GoPro is like $900. So the only other place to get them is a used place. Like I could shop it on like internet or something, which I thought about doing too. It's like Mercari and stuff like that. I've looked in them on there, but they're selling them for three to 600 range, whereas the place like pawn shops is usually the 200 to 300 range. So we'll see. Trust me, I would say pawn shops are actually getting much better than they used to be because there's so many of them and they're so corporate. Like the ones around me, there's 10 or 20 of the same brand, and those are not like they're not as bad as they used to be. Like I know back in the day, pawn shops were like the shadiest place in town, and if you went to a place that's like not the best quality, then yeah, obviously you can get real messed with. But yeah, current system you have now is finally working good. Oh, thanks. I don't know to be offended or not, but okay. Yeah, you can always return them. Yeah. And technically, the laptop that's literally right there, I bought from a pawn shop. For the record, I bought that guy right there from a pawn shop for $200. And now I use them every single Thursday. He sits right there all week long, and I turn that little camera on, and boom, there you go. But that's I don't that was a random buy because I tried using the ones that I got from you guys, but they were so old they were out of service. Like you couldn't no apps would work, nothing would work because it's like it was still on like Windows, like 2000 and stuff, and none of the programs, like even this kind of programs, and these didn't work on it. So I was like, all right, which I mean, they would work eventually if I wiped it and put a new operating system on it. But yeah, guys, let's see what else. Oh yeah, when it comes to the towels, what do you want me going forwards? Do you think you would buy more of this size, mini size, which see this is much smaller than that, or much bigger than that? Let's see if I can get all three of these held in one hand at one time. Ta-da! I mean, for now, obviously, I'm going to end up selling all three because I have them. But I really wanted to see what you guys thought about like going forwards. I can do multiple of them. Like I'm not being like, oh, I only do one. It's like I'm fine with doing multiple sizes. But I was thinking like, what do you think? Big boy, medium boy, small boy, and is this a good medium size? Which it is 9 inches by let's see if I can get it. Nah, it's too shiny. But yeah, it's 9 inches by 9 inches is what these are. Well, have all 3 different applications, see which the next drops. Yeah, I mean, the only problem with that is I did want to have, as much, try to have as much product ready as possible. That's kind of why I wanted to do this, right? It's like, try to get rid of some, but I mean, I do have at least a half dozen of all the sizes and weird sizes, where this was supposed to be like a replacement for like a scrub brush, right? So I made it that size, same size as a sponge. Ooh. I've been working all day. I'm tired. But yeah, what do y'all think? Do you like just the medium size, or the medium size is, I think, my favorite too. Like, this is probably my favorite size. And then when I'm selling these, I was thinking, should I try to sell them as gym towels, or sell them as just microfiber cloths? I don't know. That's the other thing, like with the ads, right? I might end up making 2 or 3 ads and like see which one you guys like better. And then put them all up on Instagram and see which one works the best. Because yeah, a lot of this, I'm trying to get you guys' opinions, but at the same time, I will end up posting stuff, like, posting all of it and posting different things. And, a lot of this stuff's going to end up being $1, where it's just like, tried it out, didn't really work. Like, all the unpaper towels and stuff, I'm going to end up selling them for $1. I think that's, I kind of thought about it the other day, and I was like, I really want them out of my house. So it's like, I want to sell them for $1. And then there's even a little bonus thing that I made one time. I made a few of these. This is to be, see, I even put a, bloop. This was meant to be, when you're cooking on your oven, you would have this, like, see, it has the, the snap on it, and you put that around your oven, the handle of the oven. And then snap it, and then there you go. It's like, it's on that bar, right? And then I made it really long so that you can kind of go from there up to your counter and swipe some stuff. And if you need to get all the way to the back, you can. And otherwise, it's a cute little decorative towel. But I think these are just going to be like, I'm not going to pursue these because I just don't love them. They're cool. Like, the idea was neat, but I just don't love them. They're not perfect. I think it's because I based them on the unpaper towel, and they're just not absorbent enough. So, these got strap, which that was one got messed with. But yeah, thank you guys for kind of looking at my stuff. Medium is good for the kitchen, and the big one for the gym, for road trips, or hand towel. Exactly. That's really, I mean, as I said, like, a product range. A product range is ultimately what I'm looking for. I don't just want to make this. Or just make this. Like, I do want to make multiple sizes, but it's kind of is figuring out what the best 2 out of 3 is. Because if these are too small, then there's no reason wasting my time on them, right? Whereas if this is too big, again, same thing, no reason to waste my time on it. Or if this is too awkward of a size, no reason to waste my time on it, right? It's like, I'm just one person, so if I'm sewing this, then I can't sew that or that, right? I can only sew the one thing at one time. So I really, like that you guys helped me work out my ideas. It really helped me a lot to think and figure out what I was wanting to do. I appreciate everything. I'll probably go back through the chat and read it again while we're done here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been an hour, so we'll go ahead and end it here. I really, really appreciate. Would not sell as well. Yeah, I'm worried about it too. I'm also worried about this one. And this is part of the reason why I think, like, because there was technically a drop before the one that failed, and it was supposed to be these guys, and I was so, like, nervous about it. And I actually did put an ad up for these, and no one ever did anything about it. I even paid like $10 to Instagram to put this ad up, and 0 people like cared about it. So clearly the small size is not the winner. But yeah, I love you guys. God loves you guys. Remember to trust in yourself, honor yourself and others, and create a world safe for everyone. Oh yeah, that was kind of the idea. Is this was going to be like for a face towel. That was the idea. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've merged, like, it's been idea after idea after idea, right? Where it's like, this is thinking small, doing hand stuff, right? This is, doing bigger stuff like cleanup messes. And this is all the way to like a big spill. Your kid spilled a whole glass, you can slap that down on top of it and have it absorb it all up, which is why the backs are all, flannel. Whereas the backs of these are all cotton, like regular cotton. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm going to mull it all over in my head. And then next week, we'll talk about it. Tuesday, we'll talk about the ads. Thursday, we'll hopefully do a bit of a launch party and have fun. And, thank you guys so much for coming out. All right, guys. See you. Well, I'll be doing video games this weekend. I'm sure most of you guys won't watch, but thank you so much. Bye, y'all. I absolutely had a blast. It really calmed me down a lot, and I appreciate that and give me confidence moving forwards. So thanks, guys. I'll see y'all later. I'll see you on either Tuesday to talk about the ads, or if you want to check me out on the weekend, I'll be playing video games. Maybe more Way of the Hunter, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Bye, y'all. See you later.